In this first practical example, we have a blog page that's displaying a number of posts. We're fetching those posts from an API, putting them in state, and displaying them on the page. However, in our JSX, we have a conditional where we're only showing the posts if we have some in our array. The problem with this is that if we don't get any posts back from our API, for example, if there's a network error, we're going to see something strange. If you take a close look at the output, we see the number 0. This is really odd. And the reason for this is due to an underlying JavaScript error. Because our post array is empty, the length of it is 0. And that's what's being returned from our conditional instead of the JSX. To fix this, we can add a comparison so that we get a Boolean value instead of a number. So by checking if our post length is greater than 0, we can fix this bug. And additionally, we can use a ternary, which is helpful because if this condition is not met, we can display some fallback text such as no post to our user. This next app keeps track of how many times a user's changed their settings. Right now it's working perfectly fine. We're updating the count variable within onCommentsChange, but if we attempt to read the state immediately after we update it, such as by logging to the console, we'll find that our state doesn't seem to be in sync. When I click on this again, what number do you think we'll get? We've clicked it 4 times, but the console just reads 3. So why is it 1 behind? The reason for this is due to how React updates state. It updates it asynchronously. This means that we can't immediately get the value back, the correct value, immediately after we've updated state. To fix this, we can abstract count plus 1 into its own variable, pass that to where we're updating state, and instead of just logging count, we can now log next count and be confident that that reflects the accurate value in state. Here we have a simple sign-in form with a controlled component. A controlled component just means that its value is being controlled by state, and we can see that with the value prop being set by the email piece of state. We see that state's being updated with the onChange. However, when we type in the input, we get this warning telling us that we're changing from an uncontrolled to a controlled input. The error here is due to the fact that we're not providing any default value to use state. When we do that, the value that we're passing is implicitly undefined. To fix that, we just needed to add an empty string, and if we reload the page and try that again, you'll see that our error goes away. Plus, if we log the value of email to the console, we'll see that we're actually getting the correct value. In this component, we're attempting to get the current tiers for our pricing page. We're making a request to an API endpoint, and we're attempting to use the async await syntax in useEffect, but we're getting this type error telling us destroy is not a function. The error that we're making is attempting to have the effect function here be async. There's a very simple fix involved. We can take everything that we have in the effect function and declare an inner function, which we can then make async. And now this fixes the error of the effect function being async, and to make our component work properly, we can just call this inner function without the await keyword. And despite not being able to use the await keyword, our state is still updated successfully. And finally, the most common beginner mistake is one that you should be able to spot right away. This red squiggly line tells us that we're missing a key prop, specifically for our person component. You might think this would be a quick fix. We could just grab the index as the second parameter in the map function. However, this isn't recommended because it's not guaranteed to be unique. React needs unique values for keys for lists to function properly. The fix for this isn't to go out and install a third-party library to generate these IDs. We can generate unique IDs in the browser with the help of crypto, and we can use the random UUID function in order to generate a truly unique string value. In this example, we just need to update each of our array elements with an ID property, and once we do so, our error goes away.